everyone. My name is Cassandra Bright, and I am a psychic, telepathic medium, clairvoyant, and more. I wanted to come on this broadcast because I bounce from content page to content page. And I wanted to come on to the YouTube channel because I wanted to do longer than a 3-minute video on what has been going on with the government. If you've been following, and you may or may not be watching my Secret Team reading, because this book is not an easy read. It's really challenging. Some of you would consider it boring, and you may zone out even while I'm reading it. However, I've made it to chapter 9 and understand a large portion of what has been going on, and know that there's a cover story when associated with me for some reason. And you might want to consider that I am the only CIA agent, meaning I'm the only one who has intelligence. And they're operating as a clandestine operation in association with me. It's kind of interesting because the CIA actually likes me. And I reported to them the other day in how that the social media influencers are abusing the CIA agents as well. So as the politicians believe that the people they've hired as their secret team are assisting them, they're only assisting themselves, which is a little bit of a humorous aspect to it. They don't care about anyone, is what I'm trying to tell you. It all began with a 40 days to personal revolution, a little teeny bit of marijuana, and COVID-19. In my mind, that I wanted to do a Vipassana, which is basically where you speak to no one. The only person I ever spoke to during that time was my parents, and I would prefer to text them because I was so engaged in the expansion of my spiritual journey. To let you know a little bit more about the advancement of my abilities is in the old days, I would get 4 puffs high off of marijuana, which are baby puffs, by the way, meaning I would never be able to smoke as much weed as Snoop Dogg, for example, because he can tolerate that amount of weed. However, I'm small. I don't like to get too high. However, what I like to do is I like to relax and listen to Coldplay music, which enlightens the soul. On this particular evening, I lied on the couch, and a little voice in my head said, "Go do a back bend. I'll help you." Because at this time, I was really communicating with God. So I got up off the couch and I started to do my back bend. Now, I've done a back bend, so this is a logical conversation with myself. You obviously know that if you cannot do a back bend, you're not going to do a back bend. However, I have tools and training in Baptiste Yoga, and I've done a back bend from a camel pose into a back bend wheel. So I know the feeling of what it feels like to lose the moment and catch it. And so I hoped to experience that. And if I fell, I was just falling to the floor. However, incidentally, I was in the wrong place at the right time, because in that moment, I died. What does that mean? Is my head, as loud as a gunshot, struck at the base of my spine. However, instead, I jumped up off the floor. I ran around the room like a crazy person. And I said, "Am I dead? Am I dead? Am I dead? God, you cannot take me. I haven't fallen in love." Right prior to that, as I was getting up off of the floor, the figure of what you would call God in a robe appeared somehow. And then a version of myself left the space. I could feel a piece of me leaving. And in my mind, I was thinking that it was the ego was leaving. Yeah, I think that's it. That was the ego leaving, which then left me very, it's almost like childlike, with no protection against the evil world. I mean, I had no one around me protecting me anymore because I'm a 40-something-year-old woman living an adult life. However, I'm pure of heart, and I didn't have those capabilities or something, like boundaries that I used to have or something. It was very strange. Right after that, I popped up. I noticed the movement of God in myself's energy. And I then started experiencing a light. Oh, I have to tell you, this part's funny too, is I saw the light. I saw a light, but the TV was on. And then I knew it was Patrick Swayze there. And I said, what's Patrick Swayze doing here? Because you do know that Patrick Swayze is a human being with a soul. And my favorite movie growing up was what do you call it? Dirty Dancing. A video that I still watch regularly where he's dancing, Dirty Dancing. What happened after that, because I want to make sure I tell everything, because it's really strange. Y'all probably know more than I do, actually. I'm like a hard worker, just to let everybody know. I do not give up. So then I turn, I'm standing up, I ran around, do that. Is this dad? Am I dead? Am I dead? Am I dead? Or whatever. And then all of a sudden there's another light where it's almost like I can, in my mind's eye, and I'm not sure exactly how it worked. In my mind's eye, I could see the Oval Office in what an image was of it. Because I've never been there, I've only seen pictures of it, right? I felt the cuff of Donald Trump. I knew it was him. I could feel his suit. And he said, what? I said, and I was afraid. I said, don't say anything, just dance. And so then me and Donald Trump are like freaking out. But in that moment, I do believe that we allowed, or somehow the entrance of different kinds of demon were entering the space. However, it was it wasn't very many. I saw more people come through. We'll leave it at more people coming through, some of which are now demons, and some of which are angels, and some of which I didn't know were even there. And so what I did after that was I restored every ounce of integrity with myself. Because if you were to meet a celebrity in your mind, in real life, and you're a fan, you have to work through the media portrayal of it all. You have to work through the media, the way the media perceived it to be, right? I also experienced a live lion come in to the space, which I felt, I felt afraid, but then I felt loved. And so there was definitely different energies of experience that I was dealing with in that moment. And then like Baron was there, and I didn't really realize till later that I vaguely remembered Baron being there because there was so much weird stuff going on, and I really kind of focused on certain individuals for some reason, like people that I thought I knew the most or something. Like Gary Vaynerchuk came through What else happened? What? Oh yeah, and then I told everything about myself. Well, that one time I didn't flush the toilet. It's like my out of integrities. And that one time that I made someone mad and I didn't apologize. I'm apologizing. Or that time that I quit my job and I didn't give him a 2 weeks notice. So those were my out of integrities, but I don't remember any of them, hardly. Because I'm pure of heart. Then after that same evening, I thought it was like a one and done thing. Okay. I'm thinking, okay, well, as soon as I make it through this is gonna be over. This is your only chance, the demons would say. This is your only chance to make this happen, and you have to let the energy of the angels come through to give people their power, and you cannot take their power or you will be bad or some crap like that. And I was like, I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad. I don't want to be bad. I don't want your power. Maybe I should have just taken their power. Back then, I felt like everybody would have wanted to know this information and they would have embraced it as in they wanted everybody to win. However, that is not the case, is what I'm trying to tell you. That is not what happened. That's when the war really started. So it became this spiritual war. Because in the beginning I was like really gullible and like I had a conversation, like there was a week. Oh wait, let me just stop for a second because there's a lot of stuff that happened. Let's see. I lied on my bed. I was scared to death. So there's a lot of fear that was coming up for me. And then a certain celebrity came through and she was hurtful and mean to me. It was like, she was like, ugh. And I was thinking, are you freaking serious? This is what I said to her too. I said, how dare you? How dare you come into my space and treat me like this? Who the heck do you think you are? You created this for us. And then she had the expectation for me just to show up when I've known her as a certain celebrity since I was a child. There could have been some more like encounters with people that I like recognizing who on board was coming along for the ride. I wanted to make sure my closest friends were there. And they were. Even some people that I was like, what the hell are you doing here? You're not welcome here. Out of integrities for them, not me. You really want to get, folks, that some people who you think are your friends are not your friends. Meaning they have grudges and they hold them against you, and that is not your responsibility. Integrity means that you are left whole and complete. However, the kindness aspect of human nature is to care for someone as in sympathy or empathy or you poor thing, how can I help you? How can I fix you? But that is not the way life works. So as my boundaries were stripped, I'll just move forward into lying in bed. And there was a sense of bright light over here. And they said, all you have to do is meditate. I said, you freaking try and meditate when this is going on, because the monkey mind would not stop. And I am a meditator, right? I practice meditation and I can do meditation. However, this monkey mind was different. It was like this, and then they wanted me to hold steady and still for angel energies to come into the space. So I lied on my bed with my eyes closed, experienced sensations I'd never felt before, and they weren't exactly pleasant. But guess what? I won. Because I didn't want to let the world down. And I was thinking to myself, well, maybe it has to do with the planetary alignment. And so I continued on. Finally, at like 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm like, did everybody get what they needed? Well, now you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to die again. I said, what? They said that prior to that too, so I kept hitting my head on the floor, saying, okay, I'll do whatever it takes for God. So I sat on the floor again. I meditated, or attempted to, and to the point where I'm like, and then I was like, okay, someone says to me something like, she's had enough, or something like that. No more, or something like that. There's secrets in that encounter, by the way. And then the really weird stuff started happening. Because prior to this, I was communicating with Gary Vaynerchuk on a regular basis, not in telepathy, in conversation through videos, growing my essential oils business with no intention of quitting my job, with just the intention of educating him on the work that I know. So he could teach it. So he could evolve, so he could teach with possibilities of openness to something that could occur, because I'm an intelligent person and I know for a fact that opportunities show up in the weirdest kind of ways. So I would spin, I would walk, this is during COVID, I would explore the internet, I would post on Twitter, I would post on Instagram. I posted some on TikTok. It's where Gary first saw me, when I posted the video on happiness. It's when he fell in love with me. Anyway, what was I saying? What? Okay, so then what happened? Oh, that's another thing I'll tell you about, because I get like I can see the sequence, but then things I forget and then they pop in. One of my videos went viral prior to this event. Twice. It was about tongue rings, and then there was one about babies and pacifiers, and they weren't very nice posts either. They were I looked a little like the shower lady. My hair was done all weird. And then I talked about a pacifier with a baby and how you get a baby to stop sucking on a pacifier. I said, what y'all think about that? That also went viral. So I was exposed to what it felt like to be viral. And really after that is when my low level vibration went even lower. I eventually deleted those videos because I felt like if I could go viral twice, then I could go viral again, because that's what everybody was teaching. However, now as I say this on this video, I realize that was part of the plan and the plot. They wanted the vibration to stay low, and they were only going to share the videos that related messages like that. However, they weren't very good at reading me, I can tell you that much. Because those videos were factual information, and they're quite empowering videos. Thousands of trailer park trash were exposed to them, and they commented all over my page. All potential trafficked women, even a young kid who was being trafficked in allegedly Denmark. I went over to his page and created a conversation with him. I said, I like your drawings. I think your drawings are great. And then he came back onto my page and said, don't be mean to her. She's really nice. Yeah. Going back to my adventure of torture, I then started experiencing other weird things. And I'm a very sane individual, by the way. Meaning I've never had body pain. However, I know what body pain feels like. I practice yoga. I have intelligence. I was talking to God in the mirror because I have a whole list of what I was up to too, by the way, for the future when we want to go look through on how I evolved into my enlightenment period. I posted videos to Gary Vaynerchuk talking about getting an interview. I would post all in his comment section, friendly, asking questions, getting inquisitive, being the plant, purposely knowing to encounter certain ways to get people lit up, to tell them not to get lit up, going into the Discord and telling people that there were abusers and sirens in this community, and to be careful who you trust, because there was a lot of cross-talking on the side. If you want to do a business deal, you want to start it in public. This was a fun one. He would come onto the Discord, and then he would comment, and then it would be a wave, woo, of like comments coming through. And then I would type, wee, and then I'd flow through. And then I'd flow through. It's a little complicated to express this, actually. There were nights where I would lie in bed in complete terror and fear. One night I lied on the floor and talked to sex trafficked women. Another night I lied in a horse pen and I was sex trafficked. Another night I lied on the couch and I could feel my arms chop off. And God said, all you have to do is hold still. I said, all I have to do is hold still? I was like, okay, I can do that for Earth. I can do that for God. And then one night I had to talk to Earth to say, don't leave Earth, please. And then I tried to talk landmark discussion, which didn't really go over so well because she had so little trust in us. And I said, I totally get it, by the way. I said, come on, just give us a chance. And then she agreed. What happened next? Well, this was a funny one. I mean, it's kind of comical when I think about it now, but it definitely wasn't comical when it was happening. It's terrifying. I know it was terrifying, but I'm brave now. I don't give a crap. I'm like, I ain't afraid of you. I'm like looking around at my surroundings. I feel like even if I got abused and stuff in real life, I'd be like, really? Seriously? I don't think so. I'd literally be bashing your head in with a daggum bat. Okay, then I got my arms chopped off. We created, what's your name? the one that doesn't speak or doesn't hear. Annoying. Helen Keller. Okay? Helen Keller allegedly shows. And I'm all like freaking clueless on what's going on here. So I'm like doing this shit. She's like getting me to talk sign language. And I'm like, I do not care because I'm going like this. And I'm like, I have no idea what any of that means. I got so pissed. I said, go away. And then one night, Helen Keller steals me away and takes me to some weird ass place where I feel complete emptiness. I'm like, I don't think so. And God's like, I don't think so. And that's exactly what happened. I don't think so. Because I know who's in charge, and that is God, the source. Violent physical abuse, a night of RAPE, where my head bangs against the pillow for like at least 3 hours. The next day, I wake up and Lady Gaga has made a video of doing the same exact thing. I said to myself, that's weird. I mean, are you attempting to violate me or support me? I'm still not really sure on that. You psychopath who can't even have a real relationship with yourself, which is why you have fibromyalgia, which is why you ain't got no man either, you psycho. One night I lied on the couch and it was always like, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. Okay, I'm not going to move. Always in the most uncomfortable position. Head bashes, arm hurts, uncomfortable body ache and pain. Different then as to what it is now. Feeling hands under the couch where the couch lifted. Sensing people in the space. Terrified of fear, frozen. God said, just hold still. Okay. To the point where I can't remember exactly what happened, but trees came to me. And then I had to have discussions with the trees because my fingers were trees that were outside the house. And then my toes were aspens. And so I would talk to my toes and I was talking to my fingers. And then I realized that I couldn't have them on my fingers and my toes because then I would never be able to do anything because I would be so worried about hurting them. And so my little fingerprints became, I could see their faces in my fingertips. And then I had violent criminals living across the street. My ex became a sociopathic murderer who violently abused me to where I could feel my head burst. Realizing later that he was using my private Snapchats for a OnlyFans page. Then realizing prior to this that that was on purpose to assist psycho women if it were ever to happen to them. However, for some reason, all of women in society have turned psycho. Except for me. It's like, even the ones that are the kindest of the kind, I'm like, where are you? Psycho. Even if I could look at a friend and look at them and tell them they were psycho in the normal times, they wouldn't react the way that these people are reacting. This is why it's so bizarre. Another night, I'm lying on the couch, and it doesn't matter the chronological order. I mean, maybe you all have it documented, who knows? Because who knows who was in the room and who knows who wasn't. A lot of this happened during a time when I turned my phone off, and because Gary would always do a week long of no social media. And so I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to do that too because this shit is bizarre. Because I ain't no crazy hoe, okay? And I surely ain't no schizo. That's for dang sure. You better damn believe I will have a logical conversation. I will say this shit on this camera. You'll see me on the street and I will act as if nothing's going on. Hey, how are you? It's so nice to see you. Have a seat. Oh, is there any changes in your medical history? Wonderful. Thank you so much. Are you flossing every day? Are you brushing every day? When was your last dental cleaning? Abused as a dental hygienist. So during this period, okay, during the COVID phase, I'm lying on the couch one night doing a sit still, and I think I may have moved. Because there were times where I would get so uncomfortable, I say, screw this. However, every time that I moved, something weird would happen. And so this particular time, it felt like mosquitoes were everywhere in the room. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on, yo? So I was like looking at the ceiling and I'm terrified. However, logically, I know that I'm fine. I'm looking at the ceiling and I'm seeing, you know how you have like the ceiling that's like, it's not, is it popcorn ceiling? I'm not sure, but it makes little shapes. So I'm like looking at the ceiling and I'm looking at the shapes. And then I see angels representing people that I care about. And then I'm looking up there and there's demons. And I don't normally talk about demons, yo. But this shit was weird. And then this whole story of like sex trafficking happened. And then I was the one they wanted to sex traffic because they could only get that kind of sex from me. And they were eating my poop. And I'm thinking to myself, that is disgusting. Right? And a lot more stuff happened. But it was like every single night I was holding steady and holding still for like 12 hours at a time. I'm like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? I was peeing on the couch to make rivers. I ruined my couch. However, it wasn't really ruined because I wasn't eating, nor was I drinking. And this is all during COVID, you want to remember. In the daytime, I would watch movies and videos. And the demonic minds of which you all were up to, meaning people were out there in real life looking for me to kill me. I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me, John Smith, you fat fuck? I ain't interested in you. Tidewater Wellness Meetup was a meetup for people to get in shape. And then for me to make money off of you. That's it. However, they were out there figuring out a way to kidnap me and murder me, and that was the normal behavior for everybody around me. It was very strange. My neighbor across the street was a rapist. He had a sex trafficker come to his house attempting to kidnap me. Yet every day, here I am. Real stories of showing me through video form where I have written document of watching movies where a particular friend of mine is murdered in some dimension or some portal, thinking that she was going to meet me. However, I told her not to go meet me. I said, do not meet me. Wearing a ring to protect myself from a dental office, which I'd never experienced before, of psycho, scarred by a sex trafficking ring of prostitution that I reported to the FBI through a hotline, reporting to my employer about the sex trafficking. However, now he's involved in it. Trafficking me to some of the worst dental offices all over the Tidewater Wellness community. However, you got to get all the information out of me first, apparently. It's like, what in the world? And even when I was in discovery around this sex trafficking bullcrap at the dental office, this happened prior to my dying and coming back. Right? I'm looking for a new way of life. So I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the Edgar Cayce Center. I'm like learning. I'm reading. I'm like, this is when I'm reading the 150 books, right? And then I'm thinking that Gary is like a friend. And I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell is wrong with people? I call the FBI myself because I didn't trust the guy I was working for. And then they called me. And then I tell them everything. I tell a friend of mine about the office, and I tell the guy, my friend, who's an FBI agent, about Smith. And he investigates them. And they get watched. Weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. Across the whole community. From the psycho hoes working in the offices I was dealing with, to the social media bullcrap, to the dentist, to the ex that I don't even want to say his name, but he's a piece of crap. And I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell is going on here? So finally, I get a job at a real office, and I'm being murdered on a regular with these patients. I can't figure out why I have such an intense feeling inside. It feels really awful. This is post-death. Because it hadn't evolved to where we are now, where I'm seasoned at it, I guess. However, back then, it wasn't as advanced as it was. So there was this wave of advancement of pain. It's not the pain body, but it's a pain experience. The drive to go to the gym for me diminished when that used to be the only thing I cared about. The ex-guy, the guy that wasn't an ex but a rapist, is a Black Lives Matter leader. And I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with y'all? A nothing up to nothing, up to nothing, up to nothing, up to nothing, up to nothing. But abusing people mentally and physically with psychosis behavior. I'm not even sure to this day why I'm a target. Because of a TikTok video? Because of a romance it wasn't even a romance then, between me and Gary Vee? I mean, I'm trying to think, because is there something that I said? I don't remember. It must have started back then. It's when they started gathering the new secret team. It must have been. Sometimes in the old days, I would look at Noah Beck, and he would harass me for at least 30 minutes, gut stabbing me for fun, and then do his and then kiss me on the cheek. That's what you consider normal behavior, which is the future of society unless you vote red. That's the brainwashing game, by the way. That is the war of good versus evil, telling you that there is a war going on. Still trying to figure out why no one's doing anything about it. In my lifetime, I never experienced this before. However, I battle through it. Knowing that the people around me aren't feeling the same or doing the same like they used to. And then connecting on a social media aspect, because I knew that everybody was home encaged in their own selves and they can't stand themselves. So then they started lashing out at other people and listening to the wrong voices and turning their backs on God. You want to really get that the blue is up to nothing but destruction because they are violent, vile criminals. Evidence in all of their documentation that they're producing in content. They tell you themselves in every video. See, the way that they get me is by attempting to embarrass me, by having me burp, pass gas, say inappropriate things. That was the old way, though. So I couldn't really figure out why everything was like such a big deal. What is a big freaking deal? I have 5 followers. However, it felt like I had 1 million. And I'm thinking, what in the hell is going on? I'm making friends with my patients. However, it's not an easy experience. I'm in pain. I'm like working my ass off, working 2 columns because I know that my patients are in trouble. Meaning their bacteria levels are out of control. And I have got to get 2 columns in because I need to get these people back on their scheduled cleanings. So I go to work, do a 5-day work week, or 4-day work week, be abused all day long by Black Lives Matter, and then go home at night and then create content. And then in the mix of my day, attempt to create fun-loving, fun content, even though on the inside I am in pain. With 0 followers and 0 compensation and tagging Gary Vaynerchuk in almost every single video. And that's just like a little tidbit at the beginning. Smoking weed on the evenings. However, back then I didn't really take the advancement level of where we got to with the weed smoking, which you don't really understand. If you don't smoke weed and you're not from Colorado, then you do not know what marijuana is as an opportunity. I mean, I literally would have 1 to 2 puffs. The most was ever 4 because I didn't want to get too high because I had to work the next day and I did not like going to work feeling high. However, whether I smoked weed or not, I was still feeling the same way and I still performed the same. 5-star service, fabulous patient care, and better than anybody else out there in the dental world. And totally underpaid and totally underappreciated and robbed blindly by my boss. From $10,000 to a sign-on bonus from Heartland Dental he stole from me. Never gave me my portion. Bought a car off of the money that he got from the government instead of paying me. And then I got $600 from unemployment because of him. And that's the kind of corruption that we were dealing with as the poor people from the psycho rich people like yourselves. Democratic state, by the way. Colorado, a Democratic state. Don't forget when I finally made the decision to move here. So I went through this phase where it was really heavy in the conversation. There's one day I really remember where I go back online and Gary reappears. He says, "Where have you been?" I said, "What do you mean? I've been right here." I told you I was taking a week off because nobody was paying attention. Not give you a taste of your own medicine. No, take some time to myself. However, that was the worst week of my life. Of being abused, sexually assaulted, sex trafficked, etc., etc. Dealing with his staff, who, like, Gary and I would have discussions, right? I would feel uplifted. I would feel uplifted in conversation. Like, I would battle one of his staff members because they were pieces of shit millennials. And I'd be like, this is what, this, and this. You know, literally stuff from the teachings that I'm teaching. Feedback. Real concrete movement in shit. He would pretend to hire me over and over again, and then he would bash me down. I'd be like, what in the fuck? However, I kept going. I'd warn him. I said, I'm going back to work tomorrow. However, I also knew that God would never give me anything that I wasn't ready for. So as those of you who are sitting there looking at Gary as a dick, you better take a look in the mirror, dude. Because you don't know what the fuck's actually going on, do ya? So then I'd go back to work. Make a little bit of money just to get me by. And then I was working at the dental office. And then I was really depressed. So then I was like, and look at me. I'm like looking great. Like, I just ate some salmon. That's why my face looks so drawn. It's because I'm not drinking enough water and I'm not eating properly, which is it's the only way that the secret team can abuse me. However, what they don't realize is I've developed my willpower so well that they can't abuse me. Like, I will never overindulge in food. And I will always, if I attempt to underindulge, I always indulge when I need to because it's a trained behavior because I did the bodybuilding show and I'm a health fitness person. Like, I've been doing it since I was a kid. I used to do T-ball, for Christ's sake. You know? I'm like, what in the hell? I ain't gonna win that battle, dude. So instead, they went for romance. And they ain't gonna win that one either. Except for some fake facade bullshit they be putting out about pictures. Like, I'm like digressing here, but I want to let you know that I've been following this man for 7 years. In the beginning, he would show me his hand to tell me that he's faithful. He would say that he does not like the social media slut. So when I saw this shit on at VCon, I knew this shit was a hoax. I knew there was something up with this shit because I am intelligent, I am fucking hot, and I'm the bomb. Not one dude I've ever been interested has ever turned their head away from me. And that's a fact. And I ain't humble on that one either, ho. I got the full fucking package. And even if I do have a rotten tomato pussy, they're gonna love that shit. Fucking dumbass secret team. Give me a break. Little did they know when they opened up the doors for this secret CIA team bullshit, they included the Black Lives Matter community, the rottenest human beings on earth. I stood in my driveway here while Erlene Griffin would stick sticks up my nose. A woman that I used to work with who would be considered a friend. Black lives, bitch. Well, don't be kind, they would say. Oh, hell fucking no. I don't fucking think so. Now, your be kind movement was the problem. See, the way Erlene Griffin operates is she's a trash heap. Trash heap, yo. She's the type of person, the ghetto ass, who uses her black friend to pay for her whole entire meal or go places with her without having money. Or shows up to work without doing her job. Or talks crap about someone behind their back. Or kills someone. And has no remorse around any of it. And then says, where's my money bag? Black Lives Matter. The war of evil versus good, and that's what we're really up to, folks. Not Black Lives Matter. I'm going to tell you right now, anybody in Black Lives Matter, you were either manipulated or you are the problem. You are either manipulated into believing certain things about what your Democratic Party was going to do for you, or you fucking evil. Because it ain't just black people either, it's white people too. And the fact that I can't even say the word black person, however, you can say the N-word in your song, black. This is a black shirt. You want to take a look at your brain and see where you brainwashed. People are put on here for a purpose, not to sit on your ass and make babies so you can collect your welfare check. You don't even know how to clean your yard. You don't know how to pick up eggs that are rotten in the backyard. That's a welfare bitch. Popping out baby after baby after baby while your loser ass husband sitting on the couch next to you smoking weed with your welfare money. Black and white. However, white has a harder time getting their paycheck because of the skin color they got. Victim, 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 victim. You poor thing. Let's not have real conversations around what's actually going on here. Let's sugarcoat all of it so you look like the victim and we pay you for nothing. You were never slaves. Anyone under the age of, I would even say 60, you were not dealing with any concerns, including California. If you were alive in California, you had no fucking problem. There was no white and black water faucets. It was one or other, boy versus girl. Another layer of what we're dealing with. Boy versus girl. The girl's now in the lead because you men could not see past the rotten tomato pussy. So I had to lie on a couch and get my arm and my legs amputated with no anesthesia for someone's enjoyment. So you motherfucker can go fuck a rotten tomato pussy so she can steal all your fucking money and destroy motherhood while she's snorting cocaine off some other rotten tomato pussy's titties. And that's your Democratic Party. Really forgetting what we're really here for, apparently. Blocking and deleting my shit. When I say the word fuck. When I say the word damn. When I say the word shit. When Gary Vaynerchuk says fuck you all the fucking time. When bitches be posting videos using the word bitch. However, that's against community guidelines for me to say bitch. Or to say genocide. One person comments on my page as if it's abnormal, and then my whole community page gets banned. The only logical person here on this planet is me. All wanting me to fucking teach you motherfucking healthy ass fucking living. However, this is the priority. "12 laws of success, motherfucker." Positive mental attitude looks like this. I ain't gonna be nice to no rotten tomato pussy, Mona. As she demonizes all of our Vayner Nation, I don't think so. You better believe when I saw that shit, I was gonna go to fucking war with your ugly fucking ass and all your little slut friends. While the rest of you cowered in your fucking homes and said nothing. Meanwhile, they abuse you and my babies. I am a look at me, I eat almonds. Look at me, I like saffron. Look at me in my white dress. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Look how pretty I am. Ooh, look how seductive I am. What's actually going on over there? While you all cower away in fear. You're gonna tell me you're afraid of that shit? That ugly skank trailer park trash who puts all of her shit on credit cards. Looking for her fucking money ticket. Bitches Taliban. If not worse. However, I can't imagine would be worse than that. You're going to get extradited. You do know that, right? And you are going to be hanged. And that day will be the best day of my life. And that was Gary interrupting this broadcast. The fact that Vayner Nation did not come to the rescue of Gary Vaynerchuk, of Baron Baptiste, of Donald Trump, of Adam Levine, of any of these men that are up to the real shit, while you sit back, you watch, and you talk fucking shit. And I'm looking at you, you motherfucker. You fucking evil ass fucking media. Cuomo. Fucking nasty Pelosi literally sending her fucking husband to his deathbed. And then you all rally around her like she's the victim. And then portray him as gay? I'm gonna tell you right now, he ain't fucking gay. That man is attractive, handsome, and the only reason he would ever consider a man is because of Pelosi. Skeletor bitch, another one I dealt with in real life. I'm not real sure what's going on with our government system, considering we are a democratic dictatorship. We are a democratic dictatorship, and this is what it looks like. One-sided media, not allowed to express yourself. Brainwashing, same shit the Nazis were up to. Starting a war in a small country against a large country. The only reason Zelensky is up to that shit is Obama. The only reason that Putin hasn't blown their fucking asses up is because of the innocent people in the Ukraine. Otherwise, your asses would be fucking dead, and you can thank me for that, Ukraine. Oh, poor Ukraine. Oh, poor Ukraine. Fucking pieces of shit of Iran, and now they spouting off bullshit about North and South Korea? Let's get real here, you dumb motherfuckers. Fucking dumbest country in the fucking world is the United States of fucking America. It's the most powerful, the most power hungry, and the most pathetic. With Biden and Obama regime in control. Donald Trump is the president of the United States of fucking America, and I am the vice president, and you better get that through your thick fucking skulls.